Have you ever had the following dilemma? You want to furnish your home with beautiful things, but at the same time, you are deeply worried about the state of the planet and you are wondering how to decorate without destroying nature.
Welcome to our podcast, Sustainability Dreams in Interior Design. We will talk about how to incorporate sustainability in interior design and how to minimize environmental impacts.
Hello, I'm Minna and I'm here with my fellow student Elisa. We are both studying sustainable design and Elisa is also an interior designer. Elisa, could you tell me about the interior design process and how environmental issues are being acknowledged at the moment? For example, in your company, Sisustusjuttu.
Hello, Minna. I'm Elisa, and I'm so excited to talk with you about this meaningful topic. My work involves a lot of sitting at the computer and making drawings and presentations, which naturally consumes electricity. A car is also pretty much essential for my work, but I actually use it only for meeting clients or picking up and returning materials. I often meet my clients online instead of face to face, as long as the project doesn't require a material check or a site visit. Happily, my electric car doesn't produce any emissions and has a smaller carbon footprint than a regular car. At home, we use green energy, so both my computer and the car are powered by renewable energy.
Right, so your ways of working are already pretty environmentally friendly then. How about the actual design work?
Well, when it comes to the actual design work, materials play a big role. I haven't particularly emphasized the ecological aspects of materials so far, but luckily, many of them are already very sustainable. In the future, I'd like to be more intentional about this and suggest products that are responsible and durable and can really stand the test of time and use. It's also smart to think about how recyclable they are already when choosing them.
Yes, also to me as a customer, the use of sustainable materials and products is very important. For example, the full environmental story of each product, where the material was acquired, how it was processed, how far it traveled, and what will happen to it in 30 years. You know, the whole life cycle should be considered.
Yeah, that's also complements my idea of less is more, especially in sustainable interior design. It makes sense to focus on the essentials and maybe even aim for a more minimalistic approach when it comes to using different materials.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to have timeless design that won't look dated in the next season. You know, pieces that I love and that will last for decades so that I don't even want to replace them with new ones, which saves both money and nature. Well, that of course requires that I know my own style so that I won't go after every new trend and that I only buy things that I want to keep. And those products don't even have to be new ones. They can be reused or made from recycled materials.
Oh, that's so super to hear. I love the idea of finding furniture and decorations in secondhand shops or, for example, marketplace. It's better for the environment and honestly, it often creates a more interesting and personal result than something that is brought from a store.
Yeah, I agree. How could you, as a designer, help the customer make more sustainable choices?
Well, I prepare and share my design plans with clients as Canva presentations. And one easy way to highlight the sustainability of the proposed materials and furniture would be to mark particularly green products choices with a green heart or similar symbol. Such a product could be made of natural or recycled materials, be easy to recycle and or produced locally, or the old product has been updated with a new fabric or a new color. It could also be of exceptionally high quality and long lasting. Actually, I'm going to start using this approach right away.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea to start highlighting the green options. Is there something else that you could do to emphasize the sustainable materials or products as a designer?
Well, another idea could be to add a short note at the end of my presentation to encourage clients in a positive way, of course, to think about environmental aspects during their renovation, especially the recycling of old materials and packaging. Since clients choose their own contractors, this would be my way of gently bringing environmental impact into the conversation. Can you, Minna, think of some other ways to promote sustainability in interior design?
Well, I would like the interior design to support my well-being, not only through thoughtful material selection, for example, healthy and natural materials, but also with elements that connect me to nature, like plants and natural light. And of course, it's important to think about energy and water efficiency as well when it comes to fixtures and lighting.
That sounds really great, both functionally and visually. Speaking of which, the designer actually plays a big role when it comes to choosing lighting and water fixtures. It's important to think about how well the lighting works, how it's controlled, whether the bulb needs replacing or if the whole fixture needs to be updated when it breaks. LED bulbs are the most energy efficient and use only a tiny fraction of the energy compared to older incandescent or halogen bulbs. So the easiest way to cut down on lighting energy use is just to switch to LEDs. I always encourage people to use timers and motion sensors and make the most of natural light whenever it's possible. And it's also smart to go for water and energy saving taps and showers. For example, adding an aerator to a kitchen tap can help reduce water wastage. And it's important to regularly check your taps and showers for leaks.
Yeah, that's a good point. These are also important things to consider. Well, so far we have been talking about homes, but what about public spaces? Is there something specific about them?
Yes, actually, many public buildings use the LEED certification, which basically evaluates and rates how environmentally friendly, sustainable, and climate conscious the building is. It looks at things like energy use and efficiency, water consumption, materials, and even how easy it is to reach the building by public transport. The certification also takes into account things like the responsibility and recyclability of the materials used. These things I have to take into account, for example, in office design projects, which is great, of course.
Okay, this was new information to me. It's good that we have such regulations and certifications. Have you thought about bringing this sustainable approach also to your brand marketing?
Well, I actually haven't really so far, but it would be important to highlight these green values on my website and social media and explain why they matter to me and how anyone can make small, meaningful choices both at home and beyond.
Yeah, that's right. As a customer, I find it very meaningful to know the interior designer's values and ways of working. And of course, being a sustainable design student, I would definitely choose a designer that acknowledges the planetary boundaries and sustainable development goals and has thought about how to reduce climate change and biodiversity loss in his or her work.
That's true. And hopefully, more and more people will become aware of their consumption habits, including when it comes to decorating homes. Have you, have you had any ideas on how I could bring out sustainable values in my marketing?
One good way could be to highlight these issues online, preferably in an interesting manner, for example, by using storytelling or enticing visualizations, something that really draws attention or provokes interest. That way, also those customers who are not particularly keen on environmental issues at the moment could get inspired to make greener choices in their homes and think about the planet as one factor when making decisions about decorations and fixtures.
Oh, thank you for these thoughts. Such a great ideas. Maybe I have been a bit cautious about emphasizing sustainability. Do you see any reasons why a greener brand might be a hindrance to some people?
Well, I guess a greener brand might mean a more specific customer segment because it might be more appealing to those who are already concerned about environmental issues. But on the other hand, it could bring new possibilities as well. For example, if the interior designer offers new and unique service ideas like decoration as a service or decoration by using reused items only, or some other services that are also economically beneficial to the customer. For example, in the long run, the customer saves money if they buy timeless and good quality products instead of fast fashion ones, or if they choose a fixture that saves energy and water. Those are win-win to everyone. They are good for the planet and bring positive customer experience.
You're absolutely right. Saving the environment and saving money can go hand in hand. But hey, thank you, Minna. It has been very interesting discussion about sustainability themes in interior design. And I've gotten a lot of ideas on how to make sustainable design more visible and a bigger part of my work.
Thank you, Elisa. It was nice talking to you. I still have one question for all our listeners. Next time, when you use interior design services or buy decorations and furnishings, are you going to choose materials and products that bring joy not only to you, but also to the planet?
That is definitely worth thinking about. Thank you for listening.